It is good to see you. Welcome to KREM 2 News at Noon. I'm Nicole Hernandez in for Laura Papetti today. Now, before you hit the road for lunch, we've got a bit of a construction alert for you this afternoon. The off-ramp at the exit 238B on westbound I-90 reopens today. That's the Thor Freya exit that's been closed for quite some time. The city of Spokane says the eastbound Thor and Freya exit will now be closed instead starting today. For a complete list of all the closures, you can head to our website, krem.com. And today marks the start of a very warm weekend with temperatures looking like they're going to be in the 80s. So we have our meteorologist Thomas Patrick here in the Outdoor Weather Center. Thomas, how hot is it going to be and how long does it last?
Yeah, the heat wave, if I want to put it that way, is going to offer up plenty of days in the 80s, Nicole. But right now it is already 81 degrees. Certainly feels the part with that summer sunshine ahead, about as high in the sky as it's going to get all year. Of course, with yesterday officially being the solstice, today being the first full day of the summer season. But quite warm and not a single cloud in the sky for as far as the eye can see, at least from my perspective here from our Outdoor Weather Center. Should get up to about 85 for this afternoon, and we're not done yet. It's actually still warmer yet for tomorrow. We'll have a mix of largely 70s and 80s for the next week ahead, but this weekend, one of the warmer days that we've seen so far in 2024, especially for this Saturday. Maybe a little extra high cloud cover out there, but I think that sunshine is not going to be stopped by that whatsoever. Instead, I'm focusing a lot on what's going to happen on Sunday. We're in for a particularly windy day in the inland northwest. Watch as we're going to see a whole lot of red start to pop up on the screen. Actually, it comes up on the following day here. So Sunday is easily our windiest day of this forecast, and we'll show you what impacts that's going to have on the region. So look for those details in just a couple of minutes.
Well, we now know the names of the people who died in a helicopter crash in Lincoln County Wednesday night. The county coroner says they are Ryan Sandvig from Spokane and Mark Mentuffel from Coeur d'Alene. The NTSB is investigating the crash and documenting the wreckage now. We're expecting to get a preliminary report in the next 30 days. Yesterday, KREM 2 spoke exclusively with a woman who lives about a mile from the crash. She says this area sees a lot of air traffic, but this time something sounded strange.
I could tell it was a helicopter, but it didn't sound like a smooth helicopter, like a whirring. It sounded like a thump, thump, thump. Something just sounded off. When I drove my car down the road and I saw that, I got chills because it was sad.
So the crash also sparked a small fire in the area. Fortunately, crews were able to contain it quickly. A former co-worker of Mark's, one of the victims, sent us a statement saying, quote, "He was an exceptional physician and human being, and he will be missed," end quote. Now, more than a week after someone hit and killed a woman in downtown Spokane, they're now facing hit-and-run charges. KREM 2's Shannon Mowdy was there for his first court appearance yesterday.
New court documents show police tracked down Gary Burns using witnesses and surveillance video. But it did take time to find him, in no small part because of steps police say he took after leaving the scene.
Okay, sir, you were arrested for one count of vehicular hit-and-run fatality.
Gary Burns hung his head and wiped away tears throughout his first court appearance Thursday, nodding to signal he understood why he's in jail. Burns is accused of hitting and killing 78-year-old Janet Mann June 11th. Witnesses and video surveillance near Brown and Maine helped police track him down, according to new court documents. Investigators say the suspect vehicle was a Chevy Silverado with distinct markings. Some branding had been removed, and it had a black cover over the bed. Security cameras also picked up a partial plate with only 2 matching pickups in the county.
And it took investigators few days to figure out who may be involved, and obviously when they focused in on this particular case and the forensic information available, it centered on you.
Police began watching Burns, but didn't see his pickup outside his home. Wednesday, officers were able to get a warrant. The Chevy was backed into the garage.
The state is concerned regarding the interference with administration of justice based on the affirmative steps that Mr. Burns took to hide evidence after the commission of this crime.
During questioning, court records show Burns admitted to hitting Mann because he didn't see her. He told police he drove away out of fear, immediately driving home and hiding his pickup. Burns' bond is $100,000. He's due back in court July 2nd. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
We've got a little bit of good news this afternoon. The Kootenai County Sheriff's Office says 62-year-old Linda Kent has been found and is safe. Now, she went missing over the weekend at the Old Mission Park in Cataldo. She was found several miles away. Deputies say she was taken to the hospital, treated for hydration, and officially reunited with her family. And the city of Spokane narrowed down its list of police chief candidates. There are now 4 candidates for Mayor Lisa Brown to consider. They are Assistant Chief for the Tucson Police Department Kevin Hall, Yakima Police Chief Matthew Murray, Dawes Police Chief Tom Worthy, and Colonel Kathleen Lanier with the Memphis Police Department. On Thursday, the finalists will participate in a public forum at the Central Library from 5:30 p.m. until 7 p.m. Anyone is able to go to ask candidates questions and learn more about them. Now to the latest on the Pioneer Fire burning near the north shore of Lake Chelan. It's burned officially over 4,100 acres so far. Crews say, though, good news is the fire growth is slowing down. There are still mandatory evacuation orders in effect, but good news, no homes or buildings have been burned. With wildfire season well underway, we are getting a closer look at the state's expanded aerial fleet. Firefighters now hope to be able to respond to calls within just 20 minutes. And as Drew Mickelson with our Seattle station reports, with this fleet, that's actually a realistic goal.
A decade ago, the state only had Vietnam War era Army surplus helicopters on the state's wildfire front lines. These birds are still in action, but they have been updated and are now just part of a much larger aerial fleet.
And these have all been refurbished, but they last 4 times as long as the old Army rotor blades.
The state has 10 fully refurbished Hueys, about 1/3 of the aircraft ready for flight this summer. The Department of Natural Resources has twice as many helicopters and planes as it did in 2016. The Hueys and their ability to drop water make them efficient for fighting fires. But Chief of Air Operations Dave Ritchie says the newest additions to Kodiak planes help keep fires from spreading. Their cameras provide HD thermal imaging to spot new fires that aren't yet visible, like from recent lightning strikes.
And one fire, pays for the whole program.
And more aircraft means more coverage. In 2016, the state had 4 bases for its aerial support. Today, 13 airports from Mount Vernon to Pullman have state aircraft on standby.
Our goal is to put the fire out, and we can't let fire burn, and get back to get ready for the next fire.
Along with the increased aerial support, recent legislation has also enabled the state to bulk up its tools on the ground. Excavators and bulldozers are now stationed all across the state, awaiting that next wildfire call. In Olympia, Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
Starting today, dispersed campfires, meaning fires outside of a designated campground, are banned on state lands through southeast Washington. That's in areas like Cle Elum, Yakima, and the Tri-Cities. Campfires will still be allowed in approved designated campgrounds, but are otherwise banned across DNR-managed lands in southeast Washington. DNR says you can still use propane or butane camp stoves as well as backpacking stoves.